Good morning, everyone. And welcome to our Wednesday morning class. Again, coming to you from HeartLight Spiritual Center here in Charlotte. For you that might be joining us online from somewhere else, we want to welcome you. And we want to welcome you that are here in person. Thank you for coming out and being a part of the class. We have begun a series of talks on the intelligence of the heart. The intelligence of the heart. Some of it is based upon HeartMath teachings, which I am a coach for, but I'm also sprinkling in the Heart Code by Pearson and also from Revelation of Spirit. So we don't want to just hear what other people had to say about it. Let's hear what the Spirit has to say about it. Okay? 17 times in the last book, it says, hear what the Spirit says to the church. Not read it, hear it. That's a different thing, is to read it and not hear it. So, we, in one last week, for you that was here, we talked about how from Leonardo da Vinci's day of 500 years ago until just the late 90s, people throughout the Western educated world believe that the brain is the conductor leading the symphony of functions that keep us alive and well. That is no longer the case. According to the anatomy of the brain, on the site of Mayfield Clinic, a beautiful illustrates perspective, and it states the mysterious 3-pound organ of the brain controls all necessary functions. So this is what was taught in the schools, that the brain controls all the functions that you need. No longer. Real quickly, we learned that the adult heart beats an average of 101,000 times a day.
Lifetime.
I know it says a day here, and I got it out of a book, so yeah. Anyway, it beats a lot of times. It circulates 1,900 gallons of blood through 60 miles of arteries and blood vessels. I know that to be true. I had read those statistics before. We need to check the 101,000. But I know that is true. And as far as back in 1932, scientific investigation of the role of the heart in the body opened the door to possibility and controversy that continues to unfold until this day. So it is an ongoing thing concerning the relationship between the intelligence of the heart and the human mind. And I'm careful about the word mind. When I use mind, I'm using it as heart. When I use brain, I'm talking about the 3-pound organ in your head. But what we do know is that what is the same neurons that's in the heart, 40% of them is in the brain. So the heart has a mind of its own. We also know that 40% of the neurons in the heart are in the brain. So they both have a connection that is going on continuously between the two. In other words, the heart and the brain are always in conversation. But it is very, very subtle and is something that we don't pick up. We don't pick up an everyday way in which we work with it. In 1991, a scientific discovery published in peer-reviewed journal put to rest any lingering doubt regarding the heart's multifaceted role in the body and developed neurocardiology, a whole new branch of alternative medicine called neurocardiology. In other words, the connection between the human brain and the heart is in the nervous system. The nervous system is what connects. It is how information gets to where it needs to go in the body. So it's a highway or a soup of information that is always flowing in your body. But what we learn, for you that was here earlier for the pre-class, we learned that the brain is so powerful and controlling that it does not allow the subtleness of the conversation between the heart and the brain to come into consciousness. So our mental thinking dominates. And that's where we get in trouble. If the head is dominating by itself without the wisdom of the heart, then we're in a state in which we are more mental.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the world is a little mental these days, and that's where we get in trouble, because mental is not diversity but division. Mm-hmm. The heart has diversity, but the head has divisions. You get me? In other words, it separates into different polarities, because its whole premise, and you've been taught this here at HeartLight, the whole premise of the head is I'm not you, you're not me. And therefore I'm going to use the body to prove that. Because in the body I can prove the difference in race, gender, sex, and every ism that makes you all different from each other, proving that you're a separate being. If we would listen to the subtleness of the message of the wisdom of the heart to the brain, it is that we are all one. That we are not a separate people, but we are all one. And that's what it's meant in the Christian term, we are the only begotten Son of God. What did the ego do? Throw it on a man called Jesus. They put it on a body because we knew we weren't Jesus. So that meant that had nothing to do with us, but it had everything to do with us. Because we're all begotten from the same source as a spiritual being. We ended last week in learning our first technique, which was heart-focused breathing. I'll just quickly go through it real quickly for you that was not here. It's a powerful and effective tool for self-regulation. It is the first step in shifting to a more coherent state. It can help you maintain your composure in challenging situations, calm stress reactions, and takes out some of the significance and drama of the moment. And I love this one, saves energy. How many of you about running out of energy by 3 o'clock? That's my time. 3 to 4 o'clock is when I just want to go sit down. Because I'm not accessing all the energy that's available to me. Because if I spent my time in self-thinking, if I'm spending my time, woe is me, what did I do wrong, what can I do, why did I do this, why did that, all of that kind of thinking takes energy to think like that. And it steals the energy that you have in your reserve, and therefore you become depleted of energy. So it saves energy. You can be alert and calm at the same time. And we did the heart focus, which you can learn online if you want to do that. So let's begin with week 2, living in the intelligence of the heart. I believe the quote was up here by Thomas Jefferson. Is that the one that was up there? An honest heart being the first blessing, a knowing head is the second. By Thomas Jefferson, who spoke to Peter Carr on August 19th, 1785. So this is not New Age stuff. This is not something that just is showing up. It's been around, but it has not been accepted by the mass until something called HeartMath showed up. I forget how old HeartMath is, but it's over 20 some years old or so, that they was a group of people who started scientifically measuring things like the heart, other things too, in Boulder Creek, California. And they did this to help corporations. This was not made for spirituality or religion or anything. It was built for people to go into corporations that are overstressed. And I can't imagine working for corporations today, what it must be like to be under that kind of pressure. Some of them are working 60, 80 hours a week, and they're being pressured all the time, by the corporation and those who are over them and all that rigmarole. So it was a time in which, by the ability of using breathing techniques, was helping people to recover faster who were stressed or anxiety or something like that. Then it got picked up by the spiritual community and became then taught in a lot of spiritual churches, and especially New Thought, Unity churches and that kind of thing. And I know a lot of you took it back at Unity when we were there with Nancy Innes. All of us took that. She was really good at it and whatever. So today is about resilience. Resilience is the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt the face of stress, challenge, and adversity. We live in what the Bible calls perilous times. It's a kind of Bible term, but it means difficult times or challenging times. And I don't think there's anybody here that cannot admit that these are challenging times. Politically, scientifically, educationally, religiously, every system out there is under great stress right now, which as spiritual beings, we should embrace that it's not some punishment or judgment that's come upon us. It's an opportunity that's being offered to us. Make sense to you? So, remember the old message that I've done for 5 years? Chaos precedes transformation. Say that with me. Chaos precedes transformation. There is no thing of something going from one level of organization to the second level without the first level breaking down. It don't happen. Whether it's the caterpillar and the butterfly, or whether it is different atoms in the body, lithium becoming other atoms, they all go through becoming unstable at the molecular level. And it's only from that chaos that a new order can come. So here's what physics says, or quantum. Out of all disorder is order. In other words, why there's disorder is because it's been ordered to be disordered. And that's called the theory of disorder in quantum physics. So if your life is kind of in disorder, it's not something's wrong. What's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? It's because you are living in the state of possibility of reorganizing your life to a different level. Be careful, because the ego will try to make you go back and reorder it in the old order that it was and try to fix it. And that's why I keep telling people in the healing business, we're not here to fix what's broken. Because most people that come to us as clients in the healing are because they're going through a disorder in their life. And I'm not here to fix it so you can go back and be okay in the first order. I'm here because these are evolutionary signs that you're being moved to the next level of what it means to be a human being. Are you with me? Yes. Put it this way, birth pains before the birth. Isn't that right, mothers? But it says, and joy cometh in the morning. So we're feeling the birth pangs of systems that are unstable and in great stress. And these are the kingdoms of the world. Kingdoms mean systems. But there's so many people who want to fix it. I'm sorry. You take the political. The political can't be, it's beyond fixing. We need a whole new model. We don't need to fix. That's why I can't buy this Make America Great Again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Great of what? Does that mean because people was staying on their side of town and on the side of the tracks and women was home taking care of their man and gay people was in the closet and on it goes? Is that great? I don't think so. So I'm not interested in fixing that because I have a vision to go forward. And holding that vision is what I'm going to draw from the times. And there are times that I lose my spiritual perspective and wonder what in the hell is going on, God? Where are you? But my spirit, in the subtleness of my heart intelligence, says, I'm right here. I will never leave you nor forsake you. But I'm always here. I've always been here, and I'm with you now. I have not left you. So through these classes, may we find the subtle voice of the heart intelligence ready to speak to our human minds. So I guess what I'm saying to you, there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. So don't fall for that. I've been a part of movements back in the years that people left their homes and went out and made communities of to be self-sufficient because the world was coming to an end. None of that has ever happened. And there's nothing wrong with communities, and there's nothing wrong with people getting together and making their own food and all that kind of thing. I'm for that. But it's not an answer that you're safe because you're going to do that. Because whatever you're doing and wherever you're going in 3D, you're going to be affected by the breakdown of 3D patterns and systems. Mm-hmm. Now you're responsible to take care of yourself the best that you can, but it can't be fixed. All right, I got to get off of that. So 89% of most illnesses and sickness come from stress related. We are overstressed. Our bodies are overstressed. Our heads are overstressed. Family situations is stressing. Work, money is stressing. Everything in our 3D lives is causing stress. So, let's learn how to deal with the stress and use the stress. You know, I don't go to the gym, and I should be, but I quit some time ago. But most of my life I've gone to the gym. And the reason I go to the gym, because I want to use weights. You know, I still do that. I have these 10-pound weights in my man cave area that I still use, because I want to use the resistance of the weights. Not comfortable. I like the down than the up. But it's by using the resistance that I'm making my muscles stronger. And if you will start using the resistance that's coming out of the world today, it can make your spiritual muscles a lot stronger, your faith a lot stronger, your vision a lot stronger. All the attributes of your spirituality become stronger and stronger if you use this opportunity. Your resilience capacity can be thought of as a amount of energy you can store in your inner battery. As I said, our batteries are low, our gas tanks are low, and we are running out of a lot of energy that we're going to need to navigate through this period of overlap. Right now, you are caught between two worlds, and a world that is dying and a world that is birthing itself. Now that's stressful. If that's going on at the same time in you, if something, a part of you is grieving, the part of you that's formed out of the past grieves, even in the bad things, you grieve for, because that's the way the brain works. It edits out the bad stuff and tells you, oh, well, you were younger and you were better and it was a wonderful relationship and it was a great marriage and all of that. And that's all the brain will do, to try to pull you back into the past. It doesn't want you to be in the now. You might get something from spirit that is now. Right? So we need this extra energy and access to it to navigate ourselves through this time. I know that there's some here, I've been through it, who are changing roles between parent and child. There are some here that have elderly parents that they are taken care of and responsible for. Trust me, did that for 10 years. It was terribly stressful. And I was close to my mother and I loved my mother. And as I've told you the story, within a few weeks of moving her in, I just about had it. I loved my mother, but I loved going and visiting her in Tulsa for a few days and coming home. But then when she was in my home, it was a whole readjustment. And I'm not complaining, I'm explaining.
Right.
And I told you, I went down the street to a little park that was there and just cried and just waited to see what Spirit, and Spirit gave me the knowing that my mother was a soulmate of mine from past life. That it's not just a body to a body. It wasn't just me, the son, and my duty is to take care of her, but it was in the divine plan of karma of what was taking. And I drew from that for the next 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
So I suggest, if you're in certain situations like that and you're just running out of steam and patience and you're getting impatient with them and whatever, find the sole purpose of why you are together. It'll make all the difference in the world. Having more energy means you have greater capacity to self-regulate and be in charge of how you respond to situations. You can't always change every situation, but you have the power to change how you experience the situation. You are the center of your power inside. There may be those who are holding the power out there, but they don't hold the power in you. You are the center of your power. Say it with me. I am the center of my power. I am the center of my power. 3 times. I am the center of my power. So be it. This is a challenge for me. Getting enough sleep, plugging energy leaks so that you don't waste energy is key in building and maintaining your resilience. There are times when you feel you don't have much energy, you feel drained, run down, and wiped out. We've kind of covered that. How do you think this affects you and those around you? Yeah. When your energy is low, it can be difficult to think clearly. I find this a time that people are not very clear in the decisions, clear about the steps forward, not clear exactly where they're to be and what they're to be doing, who they're to be with. That's a big one. All those things need to have the energy to be clear, because the day of, I must say this, the day of grace is over. Grace has been sufficient. Let me talk on that just a minute. Grace is not a goal, it's a gift. It's not a goal, it's a gift. It was a gift that was given to us in the second covenant of moving from law to what? Grace. Got it? Old Testament law, New Testament was grace. Now, let me just give you a simple idea of grace. This is so simple, and this is really for the older people here who understand how we used to pay our bills, payment, and send it in an envelope. Remember, it used to come in the mail, and you owed so much money, but you had a payment. But on that, it would say 10 days grace. You didn't have to pay it right on the first. You had 10 days grace. Now, that didn't mean grace was going to last forever. It meant 10 days, grace is over. Pay up. That's where we are. We're at the place in which Spirit is saying, pay up. Your grace is over. Oh, I could get into so much here. So much. It's just coming. Let me tell you, and you can just take this for what it's worth. I don't care. I do care, but a lot of this is my revelations. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen now is your pre-contracts and agreements are getting ready to kick in a sovereign way in spite of you. Under grace, you had free will and choice. Pretty soon, you're not going to have that because you've already chosen. If I don't get to a certain place in this lifetime, I give you permission to activate all of the agreements and contracts I've made to get me to where I need to be, whatever it takes. Now, religion calls that predestination. They made it, like everything else, into a doctrine. Presbyterians, I think, are the most known for predestination, and they believe that God knows who's going to get saved, who doesn't get saved, that God knows. That's a part truth. But now, you're going to see your life under the sovereignty of Spirit. Things are going to start happening in spite of you. And be careful of that, because the ego is going to say, okay, then now you're the victim. No, you chose before you came these things that are getting ready to happen to you. You get that? You chose it. I chose to live these 4 lifetimes before I came here. I'm not a victim. I thought I was a victim of God. I told you how angry I was that God called me to preach at 17 years old. Really? My God, let me grow up. Let me graduate. Let me go to the prom. Let me be a teenager. Why am I out here preaching and trying to save people and all? I was just pissed off for a lot of years until I had an in-between life reading in which I experienced myself being asked, would you choose now what's going to happen to you later in life to get you into where you are to be without another lifetime? I said yes. Nobody made me. Nobody said I had to. There was no God over me. I was totally in charge of this plan and this purpose for my life. Now, you can see if you witness with that about your life. If you've had as crazy a life as I have, if you've been one of these people that can't quite find your roots in anything, didn't work in the right relationship, the right marriage, you got family issues, work things isn't working out for you. You just haven't landed anywhere in any absolute, is because you're on a journey you chose to get you where you're about to be positioned to receive the new frequency that's coming in from 5D and beyond. Thank you. So Spirit is just telling you, get ready. It's already begun with some of you. It's already begun. You got some prizes. You got some surprises getting ready to happen in your life that you did not count for. You're going to have some weird moves. You're going to have some different job changes. You're going to have some different relationship changes. Even the relationship that you're in, if it's a twin flame partnership to work for the planet, even that is going to remake itself. Your marriage will remake itself, your relationship. All these things are going to be reordered into a new structure, including our physical bodies. Oh my goodness. So when you're low and you can't think clearly, perform tasks well, bounce back. If you do not monitor and manage your energy, you can become depleted, making it more difficult to deal with a situation. How many times have you said in the last few days, I just don't know what to do? I'm at my wit's end. I'm just not sure what to do. I'm not clear. It's because you ran out of energy. Stress, resilience, and performance. There's a graph here. If Tim wants to put it on here, I'll just kind of explain it. Is it there? Yes. Okay. The red line shows how performance initially increases if we positively embrace the challenge, but then it decreases over time. In other words, we have spurts of feeling okay about it. We have spurts, but then it goes down, and we go back to our old state of worry, concern, anxiety, and whatever. The blue line shows that although stress may affect us, the more serious stages of depletion can be avoided with appropriate stress and energy management. People, that's what you need to do. You have to manage your money. You're supposed to manage your money. I don't know how much, it doesn't matter how little or how much money you have, you need to manage it. And you do. You know exactly how much you need to make your payment and your car payment and the groceries and whatever. Those who manage well have no issue with it. Why would you not manage your energy? And this is what these classes do. When you learn and apply energy management skills, you can increase your capacity to build your energy reserves. You have more energy to draw from when you need it. Mindfulness. Another popular thing that started with the corporate world that ended up in the spiritual community was the teachings of mindfulness. Mindfulness is being present in the moment, paying attention in a particular way. Means on purpose with attention. Not just intention, but attention. We talk a lot about intention, but we need to talk about attention. What is in your attention field? Attitude toward acceptance, toward thought and experience. Mindlessness is rushed, automatic, distracted, reactive, and unaware. How much of your day is on a reactive mode? How many was mindful when you picked up a toothbrush, squeezed the toothpaste out, brushed your teeth, and was so appreciative in that moment that you had that ability to do that? Probably not. How many things do we react to out of the nervous systems that we are mindless? I have done what I'm doing right now. I go back to my stairs because I do the stairs a lot. So every step, I try to be aware of every step of my stairs. Not only, I told you recently, I'm so glad that I've been able to go up my stairs without any pain in my hip or back. Most days. So that day I didn't have it, so I was very grateful for that. But it's more than that. That's a general thing going up the stairs. But those stairs mean each step. So if there's 20 or so steps, I need to be mindful of each step that got me where I'm going. Not just the stairs in general, because the brain generalizes. Yes?
Saying I go up and down steps all the time, and I count them every time I go.
That's mindfulness.
Yeah.
That's mindful. So depletion to renewal emotional landscape. Depleting emotions. Anger, frustration, anxiety, burnout, withdrawal, and resistance affects our cortisol. 'Cause 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 Whereas excitement, courage, passion, contentment, fulfillment, and ease raises our DHEA. How many know about the DHEA? You should know about that. It's very important. There are supplements for DHEA, but it's a very important thing to have. But you see, you don't even need the supplement. Huh? If you can stay in an excited, encourage and passion and contentment and fulfillment and ease, it's automatically going to raise your DHEA without something outside of you to do it. Cortisol is called the stress hormone. It influences, regulates, or modulates many of the changes that occur in your body in response to stress. When you have high cortisol, you have high stress. DHEA protects against depression, cognitive decline, I'll say it again, cognitive decline, and mood swings. It's the feel-good, anti-aging vitality hormone. This can all be done through mental environment. Let us look at coherence, the key to building resilience. Let's look at coherence as a state of optimal function in which your physical systems are in sync and balance with your heart, mind, and emotions, and your nervous, hormonal, immune systems are working and coordinating itself together. When all those things are dancing together and working together, they create a synergy greater than the sum of the parts called energy. Coherence adds energy to your systems. You can build and store the energy in your system. When you are coherent, you save energy and have greater control of your reactions, especially in difficult situations. Coherence is a state you can self-regulate. So now I'm going to show you about an 8-minute video on what we're going to do together in our next exercise or technique called quick coherence.
They found that the heart has its own independent nervous system. This complex system is referred to as the brain in the heart. It sends signals to the brain that are transmitted to the amygdala, the emotional processing center, to the thalamus, which synchronizes our cortical functions and affect our higher brain centers that are responsible for clarity of thought and decision making. The brain also sends signals to the heart, mostly to raise or lower our heart rate. But when researchers look at the information traffic in the body, it's clearly seen that the heart sends a lot more information to the brain than it receives. Brain function is critically dependent on this information. Heart and brain are in constant communication. The heart is doing most of the talking. Here's another interesting scientific fact. The heart is an electrical organ, producing by far the strongest source of rhythmic bioelectricity. This energy goes to every cell in your body. Your heart produces enough electrical energy to create a magnetic field surrounding your body in 360 degrees, extending beyond the skin out into space, measurable about 3 feet outside your body.
Magnetic fields contain information. We imprint our own magnetic field through what we're actually feeling, the emotions that we're feeling. But then it gets even more interesting. It's like, magnetic fields relate to one another. They exchange information. So how is my field affecting your field right now and your field affecting mine?
And a great analogy for this is cell phones. The way this works is our phone is generating an electromagnetic field in this case. And the magnetic field is carrying that information, our voice, right, or the photo, or the text message, whatever. So when I talk about the magnetic field of the heart, it's the same thing. So we can fairly easily measure that not only are we radiating these magnetic fields, but our nervous systems are tuned to these fields and receive information from others. So what this means is that there's a very real energetic or magnetic communication system going on between people all the time. And another part of the reason that I think the understanding the energetic communication that goes on between people is so important is in miscommunication. One of the greatest sources of stress between people is when we might be saying one thing, but our field is saying something else. And that leaves them with a disconnect or a confusion, because our word said one thing, but we might have been sending another signal through our energetic system.
When our heart-brain-body communication is working well, we can enter a state of being in sync with ourselves, a state of higher coherence. So what is coherence, and why is this important? Coherence is a healthy, measurable state. The term refers to the cooperative alignment between heart, mind, and emotions. Higher coherence is good for us. It's a healthy state that regenerates us. It directly contributes to increased emotional balance, stability, access to intuition, and improved mental functions, such as the ability to focus, mental clarity, bigger picture thinking, memory, improved reaction times, and coordination. Coherence is often triggered by an experience of regenerative, uplifting emotions, like those long associated with the qualities of the heart, such as love, care, kindness, appreciation, and compassion, and it helps us generate more of these heart qualities. Coherence can be measured using technology that measures the beat-to-beat changes in the rhythmic beating patterns of the heart, like HeartMath's Inner Balance Trainer. This is called heart rate variability analysis. It's a measure of the naturally occurring beat-to-beat changes in heart rhythm. It serves as a critical method for gauging human health.
Coherence is a broad term in that it embraces many things, like synchronization, entrainment, a lot of other terms that we use in physics. But coherence always implies that the parts of a system, like within our body, for example, are communicating. There has to be communication, and that those subsystems, or different parts of our body, are working together in a harmonious and energy efficient way.
Well, coherence is something that's called actually medically psychophysiological coherence, which means it's both physical and it's psychological. Physically, what's happening when we're in a high coherent state is all the major body systems are synchronized to an ordered rhythmic beating pattern of the heart. That's things like respiration, digestion, immune system response, hormonal response, and brain function. They all sync up. And when that happens, it's a very healthy state. And it's also a high performance state. All the systems are working together well. Less energy is being wasted. Reaction speed times improve. Visual field changes. All of that happens when we get in this high coherent state.
So that improves not only our mental functions, but also our autonomic nervous system, which controls 90% of the body's involuntary functions, from hormonal to immune response, to how well we sleep, digestion. If we can get all those systems in sync or coherent, then we have better health, better wellness, as well as more clarity and better connections and feelings with ourselves and others.
So we can navigate through these stressful external situations with much greater ease and composure, so that what's happening in the outside doesn't cause us as much stress because our internal systems are in sync and in coherence.
Now, here's the psychological part. Coherence is naturally triggered when we are experiencing a regenerative, uplifting emotion. Like the qualities of the heart. When I'm more appreciative, I'm going to be naturally more coherent. When I'm being caring to someone rather than judging them, I'm going to be naturally more coherent.
It's really the body's natural resonant state. And love, care, compassion, these heart qualities are what are like oil for the system. They help create that state.
Stressful emotions create a chaotic heart rate variability pattern, lower coherence. Incoherent heart rhythms created by our emotional responses start to shut down some of our higher thinking capacities. This can cloud our judgment, ability to discern and make good choices. Sustained regenerative emotions create a smooth and ordered pattern which indicates high coherence. When people are feeling sincere, regenerative, heart-based emotions, such as love, appreciation, and compassion, their heart rhythm pattern naturally becomes more coherent. These coherent heart rhythms send signals to the brain that open up our higher brain functions. We get smarter. You see, your brain is a big winner when we're coherent. Practicing heart coherence for even a few minutes lifts your vibration, making it possible for your heart's intuition to inform your attitudes, discernments, and choices. You don't have to walk around in perfect coherence. The carryover effect gives you enough operational coherence to support balance, emotional poise, and flow in your day-to-day communications and activities. You can reboot using a heart coherence technique anytime your energy starts to drop during the day. Through this experience, you will learn how to shift from incoherence to coherence and gain better health, mental clarity, and the ability to feel better emotionally. It's not as hard as you might think, and in the next chapter, you will learn a simple technique that will help you make this shift anytime, anywhere.
Are you ready? I want you to get comfortable. And I will teach you your next technique, which is called quick coherent technique. So this is going to add to your heart focused. Did anybody practice the heart focused? I did. Good. Breathing from the heart and imagining something good and all that. So you that was not here for that, you can get it online and catch up if you want to do week 1. All right, if you get comfortable in your seat, you may open your eyes or close your eyes. I always suggest closing the eyes, however you're comfortable. I want you to focus your attention on the area of your heart. And the best way to do that sometimes is to take your hand and just put it on your heart and let your attention go where your hand is, right over your heart. Just for a while, just long enough until you are there consciously. Imagine your breath passing in and out through your heart or the center of your chest as you slowly inhale and exhale. Breathing a little deeper than usual. And now breathe in an attitude of something that makes you feel calm. When in your life was a moment that you felt calm? If you can't think of one, create one. What would bring you into a state of being calm? And feeling balance. Follow the rhythm of your breath. As you're breathing in new, fresh energy that holds no memory to any past trauma or drama of your life. It is completely neutral. And now as you think of something that you can be grateful for, accompanied with a feeling of gratefulness or compassion. Breathing in and out a little deeper than usual. Keep your attention in your heart or chest area. You can also breathe in a feeling of this gratitude and compassion, or a feeling leaving you feeling the most soothing and calm. And now we'll end this by doing our heart focus that we learned last week. Bring your breath to feel your heart, your chest coming out and in. Breathing in from your heart and out from your heart. Be aware of your heart and the intelligence that it holds and the wisdom. The wisdom for your life. The wisdom that holds a plan and a purpose for your life and for the highest and best good. And as you get ready to slowly come back, feeling this gratefulness and holding it as long as you can, and every time through the day you remember to return to this state of gratefulness and recognizing the heart over the mental thoughts that you have today that would in any way distract you from the wisdom and intelligence of your heart. And our intention today for this class is to help us to live a more clear, directed life. What may rise today and tomorrow and this week and beyond is met with clarity and great wisdom, that whatever or whoever we deal with that would in any way make us feel anxious or hurt or angry, we choose the heart and return to the breath of the heart. Choose the heart over mental thoughts for feelings of the heart. You're ready, you would come back, open your eyes and return back to this room. These are not difficult techniques at all. They're quite simple. And things don't have to be so difficult. Sometimes simple things can just make us more mindful about ourselves. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Thank you so much for coming out for the class today. Appreciate it. You can clap if you want to. It's good for your hands. Activate those palm chakras. So if you will prepare to stay in your heart as you give to the class today, we so appreciate. We didn't make our budget this month. We did. So thank you so much. And those even out there in different states that so sent their love and their offerings, we so appreciate it. Randall will be coming in tomorrow, so he'll be here Sunday with us. And we're looking always forward to his visit. All right, well, you have a blessed and wonderful day, a good day, and may something wonderful happen to you today because of accessing the intelligence of your heart. Thank you.
Reminder, Sunday is 9 o'clock, the blood drive starts. Get signed up, sign